In today's Amazon news, Amazon plans to put 1,000 warehouses in suburban neighborhoods. What does that mean for Amazon sellers? My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. And in this conversation, we'll look at what's the latest with Amazon's expansion plans and how Target and Walmart might start to catch up to them sometime next year. Bloomberg put out an article today stating that Amazon plans to open up 1,000 small delivery hubs in cities and suburbs all over the U.S., according to people familiar with the plans. The facilities, which will eventually number about 1,500, will bring products closer to customers, making shopping online about as fast as a quick run to the store. It will help the world's largest e-commerce company take on a resurgent Walmart. And it's interesting because, I own my WalmartGuy.com, my EtsyGuy.com, my eBayGuy.com. You get the idea. We have not seen Walmart.com deliver very much, but I do believe strongly that Walmart is going to deliver very soon, and it behooves everybody to be present on that platform in case it does. Now, with that said, we've had several clients who filed applications for Walmart's Seller Central, and in the last couple of months, it's actually taking like 60 days to clear applications. So it's not moving fast right now. So you might be too late already, but it's better to be late than never at all before Walmart kind of shutters those doors. Part of the reason why I think Walmart's been slower has a lot to do with the fact that they don't have a lot of movement on their site yet. So it doesn't really behoove them to accept more sellers, and those two things are probably directly related. I noticed the same trend for Sears about 4 years ago, and obviously Sears is kind of a dead platform at this point, but they stopped taking on new clientele, new sellers to their own Sears.com platform. Similarly, I also started to see a little bit of pushback from Houzz, which is kind of a home goods, almost a Wayfair light, if you will, company as well with a marketplace. They stopped taking on as many sellers to their platforms. Amazon, however, has not stopped taking on new accounts, and quite frankly, thousands and thousands of accounts are being opened. They opened up so many accounts on Amazon Seller Central that over 250,000 were suspended this year within the first 2 weeks of being opening. So that tells you how many accounts are being opened. There's a lot of accounts. Back to Bloomberg, Amazon couldn't fulfill its 2-day delivery pledge earlier this year when shoppers in COVID-19 lockdown flooded the company with more orders than it could handle. So I read numbers something like 43% up year over year demand, and they couldn't handle that. And Q4 coming up here in 2020, it's going to be more like 100% up. And we're already seeing that. Like last week, COVID deaths were up 17% spikes and from FEMA. So we're definitely going to see some out of stock, with the IPI scores going above 500, people limited. I predict personally December 2nd is going to be the line in the sand where we see stock outs start to occur for a lot of people, a lot of sellers. So buy those Christmas presents early this year. Best advice I'm going to give you as a buyer, and as a seller, best advice I'll give to you is make sure you've got a warehouse ready to go merchant fulfilled, because you're going to stock out of FBA. I just pretty much guarantee it's going to happen. So with holidays fast approaching, Chief Executive Officer Jeff Bezos is doubling down on investing billions in proximity, putting warehouses in swarms of blue vans in neighborhoods long populated with car dealerships, fast food joints, shopping malls, and big box stores. Historically, Amazon gnawed away at brick and mortar rivals from warehouses on the ex-urban fringes. Haven't heard that phrase before. And this is really interesting because the reason Amazon came out of nowhere in the last decade is because it basically operated out of sight and out of mind, right? And that worked fine when the company was promising to get products to customers in 2 days. But now Walmart and Target are using their thousands of stores where they're local to consumers to beat Amazon its own game by offering same-day delivery of online orders. Walmart also recently started its own Prime-style subscription service, upping the competitive ante. Now, we really haven't seen a lot of engagement from that service, and there was questions and speculation of whether Deliverr was going to take over that. Really haven't seen any updates to that question. Don't really know what's going on with it. Haven't seen a lot of news on that question. Nonetheless, I'm basically saying be ready to send your inventory wherever you can. I think the concept of just-in-time supply chain management is dead. I don't think I hear anyone else using that language. I might be the only one, but I've called a few things right over the last couple of years, and I think I'm right about this one, and I'm willing to put my neck out on that question. Basically, I feel strongly that if you don't have a year's supply of your stock right now, when a black swan event occurs, you're going to stock out. If you sell air purifiers and you didn't have a year's supply of stock going into COVID, you were out of stock. And if you don't have air purifiers when the West Coast is on fire with 17% of Oregon state gone up in flames, and that's 2 black swan events, man, it's going to be rough to have the appropriate amount of stock available. So back to Bloomberg here. Recently opened warehouse in Massachusetts exemplifies Amazon's answer to this existential crisis. Located not far from once vibrant mall, it's just a short drive from more than 600,000 people. The goal is to creep closer to almost everyone in the U.S. Beyond Amazon's retail rivals, the mass openings of small quick delivery warehouses poses a significant threat to the United's parcel service, also more commonly known as the UPS, and the U.S. Postal Service. Being fastest in the online delivery race is so critical to Amazon's business model that it doesn't trust the job to anyone else and is pulling back from these longtime delivery partners, although in face and in word value, they are saying, hey, these partners, are always going to be our partners, and we always trust our last mile delivery partners. But in reality, they're totally trying to compete and phase them out. It's just, you look historically, look at railroads. When the railroad companies did the same thing, they monopolized supply chain from end to end. It's also part of my argument that the supply chain, just-in-time supply chain specifically, is dead because basically Amazon's built its own UPS in a matter of a couple of years, right? Seriously. Bloomberg says Amazon will deliver 67% of its own packages this year and plans to increase that to 85%. That's massive. What's UPS even going to deliver at that stage? Nobody goes to the UPS store unless they're delivering an Amazon package or a Christmas gift. And why would you even spend $25 going to the UPS store to ship something when you can just buy a $25 on Amazon and get free 2-day shipping to them? Of course that doesn't make sense. It's going to see a lot of changes with that. So we've seen a lot of development, a lot of news with that. Just in the last 24 hours, we also saw Amazon increased its image requirements. They just ninjutsu'd this, and if you made any edits to your own listings in the last couple of days, you may see some suppressions on your images, which means, by the way, if you have a suppressed image, that means you don't actually show up in search. We confirmed that late yesterday, and that's not good. So that's the most important thing you do today is go check your listing suppressions. If you haven't done that today, I urge you expediency on this question. And there's no Amazon news on this. Nobody's talking about this. We were first to market yesterday, I swear, on the entire web on this question. And we determined through some testing that the photo size was probably up to 1,600. So my recommendation to you is get it up to 2,000 by 2,000 and DPI of 300. And you'll avoid a lot of heartache. This is specific to the main image of your listings, by the way. So that is interesting to see develop. We also saw, that Amazon might be buying out some of those empty department stores. I can't remember off the top of my head whether it was JCPenney or whether it was Sears or whatever they were going to buy. But they're gonna have a lot more warehouses, 1,000 more warehouses in the next 365 days. So one-day delivery is going to become a thing. I don't know what that means for services like Deliverr and whether 2-day delivery, 1-day delivery kind of concepts, whether one day is going to be the new threshold. And if you think about that as a countrywide, the United States is super gigantic, geographically speaking. It's the size of Europe entirely, right? And so getting 1-day delivery is just insane. Like that's gigantic. So mom and pops are never going to be able to compete with that, right? Like why would somebody go to your website, yourbrandname.com, when they can go online and get same day delivery from big retail box? So it's going to change a lot of things. Not only have we seen more people buy online, the percentage of e-commerce share of retail has not hit a threshold that it would surprise you, really. I think I saw the numbers the other day. It was like 17% of all retail is online. That's super small if you think about it. That just shows you how much more online retail is going to grow. Because think about it. In the next 2 years, it could double in size. It could literally double. That's insane to think about. It's never been a better time to sell on Amazon, in my opinion. It's also never been harder to sell on Amazon. And that has a lot to do with all of the things that goes along with a matriculating marketplace. They put a lot more barriers up. They make changes. But in reality, Amazon's supply chain is totally breaking down right now, like right this moment. Average check-in times to their warehouses are getting stagnatedly close to 30 days in many instances that we've documented personally. We've also seen that Amazon has struggled to keep up with seller support. Like you literally cannot get a hold, in like the last month or so, could not get a hold of somebody at the catalog team at Amazon. I actually don't know the reason for why. I can speculate that it's more demand from sellers asking for help. I could speculate that it's because of the massive amount of changes that Amazon's made to the UI system, and everything's just like breaking down from point A to point Z. And it's like, yeah, I really wish Amazon would change their UI and fix problems. But then Amazon goes along and says, hold my beer, makes changes. And I'm like, okay, stop making changes. I'd rather have the old broken UI back. Please stop, Amazon. Like, seriously, no more ninjutsu photo changes without any single announcement. Give me my old dashboard back. I loved seeing my 7-day run rates without having to run a business report. There's so many things that Amazon has broken in the last 30, 60 days. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not even talking about the random listing yanks or all of the catalog problems. It's just so many issues that they're facing. So what does this mean ultimately? Like if we close this in summary, it means that Amazon has some competition coming up. I think Target is more attractive than Walmart as a competitor, personally. I think Target just has their crap together. And the reason I say this is because if you've ever tried to go order in-store pickup, I would challenge you to do this week. Order it from both Walmart and Target. Compare your experience. Target, you're like clicking your mobile app and all of a sudden they show up at your car and you're done, and it's seamless. Walmart, you got to call and then they have to like pull your cart and then you're sitting there for like 20 minutes. Like, seriously, I've done it. It's terrible, right? Like Walmart does not have its crap together. I do think Walmart will get its crap together sometime soon. I'm surprised they haven't got their crap together yet. They bought Jet, I don't even know how long ago, and did nothing with it. Couldn't integrate its technology piece. Whatever. I guess that was a shiny new object that they couldn't do anything with. That's why I personally am predicting Target will be more of a competitor. They're smaller, though. They have less ability to compete, but they are more likely to make a bigger impact based on what we've seen. No, I don't have any experience selling on Target. It's not really an open platform like Walmart is, or Etsy, or eBay, or Amazon, or many other platforms. But I would pay attention just in case. You never know when that's going to happen. Well, my name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. If you're not currently a client of My Amazon Guy, we're a full-service Amazon agency. We do whatever it takes to grow your Amazon and marketplace sales. We know it's tough selling on Amazon. We make it easier. We do this through advertising, design, and SEO. Anything that grows traffic, improves your conversion rates. Hope you check us out at myamazonguy.com.